I think it's ridiculous for fans to be worried about any other team, whether it be in conference or whether it be, I don't know. I think it's silly. I think it's weird when teams are worried about their rivals to the point where, for example, I saw many, and I guess I can. I'm not going to call out names. I don't really care to call out some names out there, but there are many Texas beat writers, guys that cover Texas, that are out there and posting about Oklahoma, about John Mateer, about, and not even, I'm talking before the news today. It was just the fact that John Mateer's having a really good season and they just can't accept that. And they're trying to make it out to be that John Mateer's not as good as Arch Manning. And I think that is just ridiculous. I think it's silly. I think any of them that are kind of going through that, I mean, I just don't understand it. But anyways, there are Texas beat writers out there that are so focused on Oklahoma and inside Texas, they're calling Oklahoma cheaters. They're so concerned with what Oklahoma was doing on the field against Auburn. Instead of just writing about their own team, they had to write about another team that had nothing to do with them at all, not even the slightest bit. And I just find that really weird. And of course, I'm going to talk about the beat writers and who's writing this, because I think it's just weird that they're mentioning the team that I'm covering. I talk about Oklahoma. I talk about Oklahoma football. I talk about Oklahoma sports, and that's what I cover. Why would I care what Texas did? And I might mention something maybe in looking ahead and maybe in passing thought about Texas, or if a Texas fan were to jump up in our live chat, something like that. But no, why would I sit there and cover an event that happened for Texas when I'm an Oklahoma sports coverage guy? That just doesn't make sense. So the fact that they're doing it the other way, and I can probably pull this up real quick too, just because why not? Just to show this, I can show some, but I can't show as much as I'm sure. Oh, you know what? No, I won't be able to show it here. So anyways, I will pull something up for you guys real quick. So just to show this, and I guess I've got to share that screen over here real quick. So this is an actual headline right here, and hopefully you guys can see that well. And I'll do that just to kind of blow it up a little bit more. I'm not signed in over here, so I'm not going to be able to show you the article, nor would I want to. They make money off this article, so I'm not going to. See, they're even trying to get me to sign up and even sign up for Apple TV, all this fun stuff. But I'm not going to, because they want you to pay to read the article. But I will give you a breakdown. This article is titled "Oklahoma deliberately cheated to beat Auburn. What should be done about it?" So they are so concerned at Texas beat writing to talk about what should be done to Oklahoma because they cheated. First of all, we'll get into that. We'll get into the whole cheating aspect of things. But Oklahoma deliberately cheated to beat Auburn. What should be done about it? All right. Well, I think what should be done about it is you write about your team. I think you cover your team. But anyways, key points of this article, talking about some of the bad officiating, missed DPIs, the bad reviews, etc. There was all kinds of stuff. Of course, bringing up the Gentry Williams missed call on Gentry Williams, the pass interference on Cam Coleman should have been called. I agree, should have been called. Even the bad reviews, like the Isaiah Satania fumble. I guess we'll talk about the first one. He had two. That the first one reviewed, overturned because they called it an incomplete pass. Everybody's saying, "See, he did fumble it. See, look, the ball's out right now." Nobody's really arguing that it was whether it was an incomplete pass or not. At least everything that I've seen from the people crying about it, they're not looking at that. I do think it was an incomplete pass, first and foremost. Do I think it should have been overturned? No, that's a completely different thing. I think that was kind of crazy to overturn it. And I could go further in depth in that if you would like me to, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. The other one, he was talking a little bit about the fumble on the sidelines. So it was literally a fumble. So it was called an incomplete pass. They went back and looked. And if that was in the middle of the field, I talked about this with Chad. If that was in the middle of the field, then 100% that would have been considered a fumble. And Auburn fans would have thrown a fit if it was not a fumble, and rightfully so. So if that's the case, how is that now just not a fumble just because it's over, out of bounds? I I look at that, I think it's completely ridiculous. And yeah, just I don't understand it. Don't understand it at all. But anyways, I digress. He's talking about all these different calls, whatever, all of that. It's a part of football, he says, but it's this is a different case. Oklahoma practiced and executed a fake substitution play, he says. And I'm realizing now too that I don't think we are live on YouTube. Let me check here real quick. All right, so we are live. I just wanted to make sure because somebody was saying that they weren't seeing it, and so just wanted to make sure that we ended up getting that in there. But it looks like we should be good. All right. But anyways, this article, it was just a silly article to me. I thought everything was just kind of ridiculous. But anyways, he says that Oklahoma practiced and executed a fake substitution play designed to trick Auburn, kind of skirt past officiating, direct violation of the rules, marked illegal even in the offseason, blah, blah, blah. Bob Stoops even confirmed that it was a rehearsed play. It was a rehearsed play, and that's what Bob Stoops was saying. And it is kind of it's a trick play. It is. I mean, based on the way that it's designed, it is a trick play. Nobody's saying that it's not a trick play. It is to deceive you, just like a play action pass is to deceive you. All of that stuff. Anyways, moving on. SEC officials in the league office failed to act in game despite having the president to call authority to call back the touchdown, penalize Oklahoma, blah, blah, blah. He goes on even talking about how the Oklahoma coaches are rationalizing this as just a ball play despite knowing that it wasn't, and trying to make anything. Anyways, yeah, just goes on talking about how Oklahoma, they cheated. And Waddlington, I'll call him Wynington. Waddlington. I don't remember. I didn't even write his first name. Should have written his first name. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Just because Paul Wadlington. Okay, this is the guy that wrote the article, and I'm going to call him out. I'm not an On3 employee, so I have no obligation to hold back on this. Just ridiculous. It's a stupid article to begin with. Not only that, but you're not even covering your own team, which people pay you to cover. I'm sure Texas fans love this because they worry too much about Oklahoma. But anyways, goes on to saying that without accountability, the sport's just losing its integrity. It's going to descend into outright lawlessness. He says that the only meaningful consequence that would prevent repeat violations is vacating the win. So I say all of this just to get down to the point that he's trying to make. The way that you get right with Oklahoma is to vacate their win against Auburn. What? Like where? Okay, so let's vacate the win. What does that do for you? People still saw the game. People still saw Oklahoma outperform Auburn. You can say that the officiating affected the game. You cannot say that Auburn would have won because it's all what ifs. It is all what ifs. That's absolutely crazy to me. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. I will pull this up real quick because Toby Rowland actually ended up putting this post out there, this tweet. He ended up saying, according to a source, in its regular pregame meeting with game officials, the OU staff brought up the planned play, the Satania touchdown, and sought confirmation that it was illegal. So they explained this play and how it is going to follow an inside run. Satania is going to walk out towards the sideline, and it is deception. It is a trick play in some sense. And I saw some even trying to say, and I don't know if this is true or not, or if it was just Deion Burks doing his thing, but that maybe it was even in the plan for Deion Burks to be talking smack to the defender. I don't know if that was actually a design, like, hey, Deion, we need you to. I don't know about that. That is what they were mentioning in the booth, that, hey, Deion was doing this, and he's kind of out there talking smack, drawing the defender in. The main thing with Deion Burks is that he's drawing the attention because he's normally the outside guy, and he's now lined up inside, but they don't see the outside guy walking, not jogging, not acting like calling over the sideline, not even looking at the people on the sideline in any kind of interpretation that he would be coming off the field. He points to the ref, lines up, the ref says he's good, and he runs his route. I don't understand the whole, it's an illegal play. It will not make sense to me. The SEC officiating crew was wrong, according to a lot of you guys, in the game. How can they not be wrong outside of the game? That's the other thing that is just absolutely crazy to me. But this was proved to be a legal play with the league office before they ran this. So with the officiating crew, they told the officiating crew, this is how we just design it. What is our parameters? And they told him, just as long as he's not doing this, and he didn't do that, therefore they're allowed to run it. So Oklahoma's, first of all, they're not cheaters. I'm getting annoyed with even talking about this. It's just that Texas wants to write about it. Texas wants to vacate a win from Oklahoma so bad that their beat writers are out there writing on one of the largest college football platforms, the college football media platforms. It's just it's stupid. It's cringe. It's ridiculous at this point. So whatever. Yeah, Texas fans can keep on crying that Oklahoma got a more meaningful win than they have all season. We'll see. It comes down to October 10th that I get that date correctly. So it'll come down to that. I think that's ultimately what matters the most. So there's a few others that we could go through. There's all these Arch Manning versus Mateer comparisons. You've got several people that literally their job is to cover Texas football, and they sit there and some not even comparing him to Arch. They're just stating things trying to trash talk John Mateer. But it's mind-boggling.